a fantastic day of trade. JSE all share up over 1,000 points and gaining almost 4% in today's session. And of course, the key takeaway is the coordinated central bank action that we've seen on a global level. And then also China dropping that reserve requirement for banks. So we're seeing intervention once again.
Afternoon. It looks like it. I mean, initially when we started the day, it was pretty much a flat session until we had the Chinese lowering those reserve requirements. It did provide some upside, and most of that was actually seen in the initial moves in the resources. We saw good gains across the Platts, also the mining houses and even the gold names posting strong gains, and that with the rand, which started to strengthen as well. And then those coordinated efforts by the Fed and 5 other international governments provided further upside, increasing risk appetite. And we saw most of those resource names as well as other domestic stocks actually start to pick up and push firmer throughout the afternoon. And that also despite of quite a firm rand on the session.
Absolutely, and what a fantastic knee-jerk reaction, because it's to the upside. This is why we're seeing the positivity filtering through. Is this a dead cat bounce, Michael?
Not quite sure on the dead cat bounce, but price action today would indicate that a larger amount of this was actually short covering. I think we had some semblance of this on Monday as well, where the push into the close was also what we would think as covering of shorts as well.
Absolutely, because very high volumes today. I mean, yesterday we averaged around 9.5 billion rand, the day before pretty much at that level. Today, 18.6 billion rand passing through. So much higher volume, so perhaps more convection in the market.
Volumes at that height were better than normal, but we did have a 5 billion rand auction as a result of the MSCI reweightings, which occurred on the close. Also probably added to some of the big moves that you may have seen. Sanlam, for one, was one that was pushed quite hard in the close. A lot of the action in stocks that had big changes was Northern, that was slightly upweighted in the rebalancing.
And Michael, I mean, how does this change your investment philosophy going forward, given the fact that central banks, and they have been reiterating this point, that they would step in if need be, and here they are, they're stepping in. Does this change your investment philosophy going forward with regards to buying up shares that you wouldn't normally look at?
Generally, wouldn't think that too much change in the overall philosophy. The increased liquidity does provide a boost to sentiment, but looking at it, maybe in the next couple of days we'll see more detail on the reasons for this coordinated global effort.
Let's just touch on some of the top gainers. Investec up almost 7%, African Rainbow Minerals up 6.5%, Exxaro rallying significantly up almost 6%. So we've actually got so many stocks, for the most part of the top 40, north of 3% gains. This is fantastic moves that you've actually seen. Do you think that we could see a massive sell-off coming through tomorrow, given the fact that many people are smiling today?
Maybe an element of pullback, just with some kind of short covering. Also, with that large rebalance auction, we could see something tomorrow, but it would depend on what kind of follow through we see in the likes of the US tonight, and also the moves in Asia in the morning.
Michael, let's also just touch on Pick n Pay. Of course, Pick n Pay and the Australia drama that had been occurring for quite some time, eventually now allowed to sell those Franklin stores. Would you want exposure to the food space, to the retail food space, and would Pick n Pay be your choice?
Pick n Pay is one that's been out of favour for a length of time. Probably been an underperformer when you looked at it versus the likes of Shoprite. It does have reasons for that underperformance. So not necessarily one that would look to add. Some of the other retailers, most views are that they are on the expensive side from a domestic point of view. But when you look at it on a relative basis to some of the international peers, the internationals still seem to like or have good appetite for the retailers.